Welcome in. We are back to looking at this case in Missouri. It's actually sparked a lot of intense scrutiny over the last several weeks as two women's deaths are being investigated, and they have one common denominator, which is this one gentleman by the name of Robert Doust. He's a fire captain. So, the latest and greatest is that they are reopening the Grace Holland investigation. And the Creve Coeur Police Department Chief, Jeffrey Hartman, has said that in 2021, there had been an error with the department's recording system. I read that and I think, okay, that's a covering up something. Are we covering up that someone made an error, truly made an error, and they just overlooked this and didn't investigate it well enough? Or are we covering up the fact that there was one or two cops that let a lot of things slide intentionally because they knew this guy, because of him being a fire chief, a first responder that had a lot of interactions with the police department? Because as I've reported on in the past, he has a long family business. Outside of his firefighting job, he had another company that did a lot of networking with all of law enforcement. Now we're still at the point where there's been no charges filed against Robert Doust, and they still have not named him as a suspect. But you have two women that both lived with him, that were both in relationships with him, that are no longer with us. But what brought this into the media spotlight was the passing away of Sarah Sweeney, who is up here to the left, the blonde. She was his current fiance, and she recently passed away. They said it was, how did they word it? They originally said she had a sudden death, and there was talk about her having medical issues. But now the Missouri cops are speaking out and saying that her death is suspicious and it is being investigated. Her family's also spoken out and said that they lost touch with her after she became involved with him. And this echoes what Grace Holland's family also said about her during the time that she was in a relationship with Dow. So this is textbook controlling spouse. And in their videos that I have in my previous uploads regarding how he talked to Grace, up at the top right hand corner of this video, you'll see my playlist link. So you might want to watch just to kind of get caught up on this. The reason I'm coming in today is to give more of an update as to what's being said about Sarah's death. There were no apparent signs of trauma, so there's not a weapon involved. But because of his connection to both of these women, both dying in his home, it's led some to wonder if he could be involved in their deaths. Now, what we've all been sitting back and waiting on in regards to Sarah Sweeney's death is the toxicology and autopsy results. And her autopsy report is now in. So here's what the Frontenac Police Department said. Dr. Sarah Sweeney was found deceased inside her Village of Westwood residence in the early morning hours of January the 13th in 2024. Dr. Sweeney was found with no obvious signs of trauma discovered on her body, and our investigation at this point supports that she was home alone leading up to her death. The St. Louis County Medical Examiner's Office conducted a post-mortem examination and toxicology analysis relative to the death investigation of Dr. Sweeney and concluded her immediate cause of death was oxycodone, gabapentin, I hope I'm saying that right, and diphenhydramine intoxication. The manner of death is undetermined. Investigators are continuing to gather information, therefore, this case remains as an active investigation. The full autopsy reports have not been released. Now, the first fiance, Grace, her family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against him, and they were alleging mental and physical abuse, and that Douse either shot Holland or encouraged her to take her own life. Text messages later revealed that he and Holland's relationship had many issues. Uh, Grace's family suit also cites inconsistencies in the case, such as her reportedly shooting herself in the left temple when she was right handed, and there's also a missing engagement ring out there, which there were some claims that he turned over a fake one. I'm not really certain about that one, but so about a month before his second fiancee died, Sarah, The wrongful death suit was referred to Missouri prosecutors to determine any criminal charges against Dowse were warranted. Now, my upload on my channel before this one goes into more depth about how Sarah Sweeney had spoken to people at her office about her relationship with Dowse, and it does bring a lot of insight into the case. Now, Grace Holland's family has been very vocal over the years, whereas Sarah Sweeney's family seems more like if her cause of death is not labeled suspicious after all has said and done, they want it put to rest. They want her back, but they want closure. Sarah Sweeney's mother, Teresa Sweeney, said that her daughter lived with two medical conditions, one of which can cause fatal anaphylactic shock if not treated. Her daughter, however, carried an EpiPen for safety. Sarah Sweeney's family never met Robert Dowse, but they were aware of Grace Holland's case and her suspicious death. They had sent Sarah some news reports about what happened to her, and at that point, when they started doing that, she stopped responding to them. There's a lot of unknowns in both these cases. You have Sarah's family waiting for answers. You have Grace's family pointing the finger at Dowse. You have Dowse pointing the finger at Grace. Speculation is not going to help us at this point. We need facts. And the facts are that both of these deaths are being investigated. It seems like they came to the conclusion on Grace's death way too early. And finally, since the death of Sarah, they have reopened the investigation on Grace's death as well. So it's just a matter of time before we get more information on, are they coming up with anything? They were previously calling Grace Holland's death a suicide, but now they're saying it's a suspicious death. Robert Dowse has never been named a suspect, and he has denied any involvement. He's been vocal only through his attorneys. He's not given any interviews. And something that came up here that I had not seen before was that Robert Dowse offered help and concern for Grace's mental health treatment. Her twin sister revealed that he was concerned about her mental health. He offered to help pay for mental health treatment and even expressed that he was worried about her safety. Robert Dowse provided her twin sister Laura with his health insurance information, suggesting that they attend therapy together. That's the first time I've heard them say anything positive, because before then it's been about the way he spoke with her, the way he treated her. And again, I have it on a video uploaded previously. Are we looking at a wrongful death suit with Grace? I mean, it seems if he ever is charged and this goes into trial, it's going to be a long review of his text messaging with these women. I mean, it just seems like something's not right. I mean, he's abusive. He's verbally abusive. We've seen that. We've seen that. The main thing to know is that they have reopened Grace's case, and they are hopefully there's new eyes on it. Hopefully they have a new investigator. It's not the same old guys that were looking at it before. I think that would make a huge difference. The fact that she was right-handed and the shot was to her left temple does, I mean, come on, that is suspicious. So the Mirror, which is out of the UK, I don't know if this is legit or not, but it said that she was found locked in the bathroom holding a gun months before she shot herself. So I don't know the validity of this, guys. They're the only ones that seem to be putting this out about that. Thank you for watching, everyone. I'll try to stay up on top of this one for you guys. Please stay tuned. Hit that like button if you would, and that also subscribe so that you'll be notified the next time I upload a video. Have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you soon.